soggy Saturday morning in Aggie land. We're ready for SEC football. Today, the Gamecocks make their first ever visit to Kyle Field to take on Texas A&M. This is SEC Network football presented by Allstate. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Heisman winner Andre Ware. It's deja vu all over again for Texas A&M. Just like last year, 5-0 start. Offensive issues, a change at quarterback again this season. But today, it's Kyler Murray, the talented freshman, who gets his first start.
Yeah, and a guy that is just flat out dynamic, that can make plays with his legs, with his arm. We got a chance to see him in practice. He can get outside the pocket and put a lot of pressure on the defense. John Hoke's going to have his hands full trying to keep him contained today. But when you do, he's so accurate as a passer. He can drop it in, change speeds, put some velocity on it. He is going to be fun to watch this afternoon.
South Carolina is going through a season of change of their own. As you look at the numbers for Murray in limited time, they have a new head coach. That's right, head ball coach stepped down a few weeks ago, and Shawn Elliott got a win in his first ever game as the interim head coach at South Carolina. He grew up a Carolina fan from Camden, South Carolina, and now holds his dream job. Will his passion and fire be enough to get this South Carolina offense going? Landon Ard will handle the kickoff duties.
Certainly was a couple of weeks ago against Vanderbilt. Got a win. He's undefeated as a head coach, interim head coach.
Kirk and Harvey deep. No chance for a return. For more on this quarterback situation for Texas A&M, let's go down to the field and say good morning to Laurel Rutledge.
Tom, offensive coordinator Jake Spavital said Kyler Murray was calm and focused this morning, but he knows his quarterback is feeling pressure to deliver a big performance today. He said he feels like the early start actually helps Murray because he doesn't have as much time to think about it. It's just get up and go. They've made it very clear to Murray that he doesn't have a short leash. They will live with his mistakes, and they're banking on that dynamic playmaking ability with his feet.
All right, Laura, thanks. So, Andre, let me ask you, how do you make a freshman quarterback comfortable?
You make him comfortable, hand it off here to Trey Carson. Look for a handoff to him, trying to get his footing, get him integrated into this game slowly.
Out of the shotgun, they do just that. Carson has some room on the left side. It's a pickup of 4. Here are the starters for Texas A&M on the offensive side of the ball. Highlighted, of course, by Kyler Murray, but then Carson and Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds needs to get going a little slow last week. Carson will carry the load. Look here, Tom, for a quarterback draw. He loves to run the football. Why maybe the quarterback draw in this instance?
Indeed, that's what it is. And Murray's got a first down. And he will slide to a stop on the wet turf. 14-yard gain on the first takeoff for the freshman from Allen, Texas.
Yeah, he's so dynamic with his legs. And how do you get him settled into a big game like this? Easy handoff. What he likes to do, run the football with him. Now go into the offense.
So the running game on point to start this one for Texas A&M, and back to Trey Carson, pass midfield as they slice up a South Carolina defense, which is 101st in the country against the rush. We take a look at their starters.
Yeah, Sky Moore going to have his hands full today. He's their best defensive player in the middle of that defense, and then Marquavius Lewis, arguably their best pass rusher.
To the slant and a leaping grab. First down, a little bit more. Reynolds broke free for a moment. He picks up 13, and this Aggie offense humming early as they go with tempo.
And Josh Reynolds, only 3 receptions last week against Ole Miss, only 19 yards, looking to kind of get his ship righted, and Kyler Murray able to find him early.
Little misdirection on the handoff, back to Carson once again. Tempo is a key word used by both Jake Spavital and Kevin Sumlin yesterday. In fact, Sumlin's comment was, we need to get back to who we are. He said that's a lot of the run game and a lot of tempo.
Yeah, a lot of call it and haul it, especially with Kyler Murray under center. There'll be a lot of calls, not a lot of audibling or changing of plays at the line of scrimmage. He's still a little bit green in that area, so once they call it, they're just going to try to execute.
Murray takes off again. He's got room, and he's shifty inside the 20, down at the 15. Another first down run. That one covered 14 yards.
Yeah, I think he's more developed at this point in his career than Johnny Manziel. And a lot of coaches don't like doing, comparing players, but he's an excellent passer. He's more of a dynamic type of runner than even Manziel was.
They'll empty the backfield as Carson goes out left. Look there, come back right to the slant. And it's dropped incomplete, trying to find Edward Pope.
He showed some maturity there, looking left, trying to look the coverage off, and then coming back to his right. Reynolds and unable to complete it. First incompletion of the day, but boy, does he look poised and settling in nicely here early for A&M.
By the way, don't adjust your sets. May look like black and white. Texas A&M in the all black, South Carolina in the all white today. Second time they've gone all black in recent memory. Johnny Manziel and the crew wore him at Mississippi State a few years ago and found a win.
And this is just what John Hoke wanted to have happen. Bend but don't break. Execute on first down was one of the keys to this game, and then get him in a manageable situation defensively where if he wants to, he could get aggressive here on this down and distance of about 3rd and 6, 3rd and medium.
9th play of the opening drive. First time A&M has faced a 3rd down. Murray has room to scramble. He'll do that, but then gets popped by Sky Moore and company.
I think they go for it here. So a lot of momentum early. Kevin Sumlin not really going to flinch. He's got big Trey Carson. Try a field goal here. I'm surprised with the execution, the way they're winning at the line of scrimmage, especially early. You almost break the will of South Carolina if you are able to pick up this short 4th down.
Chip shot attempt for Taylor Bertolette, the senior from Reading, PA, from 25 yards out. Wow, he pushed it right. And A&M misses out a golden opportunity. Momentum to South Carolina.
Next time they're in that situation, he'll probably go for it. I mean, it's 2nd and short, and he just pushes this baby. Snaps good, maybe a little bit high, but they're able to spin it, get the laces away, and it just drifts just right of the goalpost.
So that's a 10-play, 68-yard drive with nothing to show for it, especially after Kyler Murray was able to move the offense in the open field. That 3rd down, by the way, was the first time they really didn't go tempo, which is what we expect on 3rd and 6. The coaches want to be able to help Murray in those middle distance downs.
That's a good point. Just taking care of him and allowing him to helping him to manage the game.
Perry Orth, the starting quarterback for South Carolina. They've had their issues at that position all season, and he hands off to David Williams, who takes it forward for 5. Myles Garrett the stop. Here are the starters for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, Brandon Wiles, a big-time running back who's been nursing some ribs. He's back in the game. Played well against Vanderbilt, going for 119 yards, and then the playmaker, maybe the best player on the field right now for South Carolina, Pharaoh Cooper.
Williams again. That time he picks up just 1. A&M has struggled against the run this season, 101st in the country as we see their defensive starters.
Well, they can certainly get after you in the pass rush with 2 excellent edge rushers in Deshaun Day Hall and Myles Garrett, 2 of the best in the entire country, maybe the best combination of defensive ends in the country.
They've got a tight end, Jarrell Adams, helping out with Garrett in this formation. 3rd and 4. Garrett, number 15, bottom of the screen, right on the logo. Here he comes. Orth steps up, got stripped and dropped, able to recover it, I think.
They're still fighting for it. There's a scrum. It looked like Perry Orth actually got the ball, and they do indeed rule it 4th down.
Julian Obioha forced the fumble.
You see him here just coming from inside 95, is able to just get inside, has to step up because of the edge rushers in Hall and Garrett, and then Obioha doing his job inside, pushing the pocket, and able to get a hand on the football.
Beware of trick plays all day long from South Carolina. Wide splits on the punt team. Speedy Noyle back healthy. He's 100%. Won't have a chance at a return here across the soggy turf. They will be down by South Carolina after a 54-yard punt. 3 and out for the Gamecocks. A&M couldn't score on their first drive. Back to Aggieland after this. First 5 games, 39 points a game. The last 2, 13. And Kyle Allen, the sophomore from Scottsdale, Arizona, went from the best quarterback rating in the SEC to one of the least productive quarterbacks in the entire country. That, along with what we believe to be an injury to Allen's shoulder, necessitated a change in Kyler Murray with the opportunity.
Yeah, I just don't think he's healthy. You know, the coaching staff, they would Wouldn't quite confirm it, but they did tell us he was getting treatment on his shoulder. They asked him, are you 100%? He says yes, but he's in the training room getting treatment on his shoulder. That doesn't spell a quarterback that's completely healthy.
Another slide for Murray, the former baseball star, and it's got to be tough, Andre, as a quarterback, and both of them have been through it, to watch a guy run the offense when you think you should be in control. We compared it yesterday at practice to going in a restaurant and seeing your ex-girlfriend on a date with somebody else.
I mean, they were both all everything coming out of high school, Gatorade Players of the Year in their respective states. You know, Kyler Murray never lost a high school football game, 3 consecutive state championships. Kyle Allen, I mean, he was decorated coming out of high school in Arizona as well. Desert Mountain High School in Scottsdale.
Third down 2 for A&M. Murray pulled it back, scrambled for a first down, and goes down. The design today within the game plan called for 10 quarterback runs for Murray, another 5 off the zone read.
And here's the zone read where it looks like a little bit of a mix-up. Trey Carson looks like he wanted to keep it, but Murray, being the explosive player he is, it's broken. He can fix it.
5 carries, 46 yards early for Murray. Here's Trey Carson. Gain of 3 this time. Kyler Murray was a Gatorade National Player of the Year at Allen High School, 42-0, as you mentioned, 3 state championships. More than 14,000 total yards and 186 touchdowns.
It's getting it done right there.
He's the first player ever to play in the Under Armour All-America game, both football and baseball. And he would have been a high draft pick had he not opted out of this past June's MLB draft. Murray throws to the slant. He had 2 receivers there. Ricky Seals-Jones comes up with it and then making some moves. Oh, he's still free. They can't bring him down. Finally at the 30. It's a gain of 25.
He wins with the placement of this ball. It's thrown behind. If it's thrown out in front, TJ Holloman has a chance to make it, but the throw wins, and it allows Ricky Seals-Jones to continue after the catch.
Now they pop it out to Christian Kirk, the talented freshman, forced out of bounds at the 20. That's a gain of 11. Here's the tempo.
And when you're having success, you can tempo. You don't have to call everything in the huddle, break the huddle, get methodical on offense. You can speed things up, and he's comfortable doing it. This is an offense that is very much like what he executed in high school.
He'll take off, spins for a moment, no gain.
Well, talking to John Hoke, the defensive coordinator this week for South Carolina, they expected Murray to play, knows how dynamic he is. They got to play bend but don't break, and they have to tackle well in space because he's going to put pressure on the edges. Quarterback draws, they're leaving the middle of the field open, 4-2 fronts. It's basically calling for it.
To the ground game, and James White. White takes it nearly to the 10, a gain of 7. TJ Holloman with the stop for South Carolina.
Yeah, they're glad to have James White back. He's been banged up the past couple of weeks, finally healthy again. Not quite the receiver out of the backfield that Carson is, but boys, he'll load. 6 foot, 220 pounds.
Eight plays into this drive. They missed a chip shot field goal on their first possession. Murray in zone, got him. Touchdown, Josh Reynolds. A 10-yard strike off the play action.
He made it look easy. The play fake's going to hold the linebackers. You see Sky Moore take 1 step up. That allowed for Josh Reynolds to get behind him in the back of the end zone. What touch by Murray.
That touchdown catch, Josh Reynolds now tied for top 5 in school history with the great Mike Evans. It's his 4th of this season, and it caps a 9-play, 74-yard scoring drive. Bertolette's able to fit the extra point through. Second possession for Texas A&M today. Second possession as a starter for Kyler Murray. And his second touchdown pass hooking up with Josh Reynolds to put the Aggies on the board here in the first. It's the 5th largest haunted trail in the state of Texas. The guys from Kappa Sigma put it on. This the 20th anniversary of Wicked Woods. And we have our post-game plans. Proceeds go to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, and donated canned goods go to the Brazos Valley Food Bank. So all for a good cause. Out of the back of the end zone. They see a few different looks for South Carolina on offense, and that's complete. Finding his man Pharaoh Cooper. Gain of 11. Justin Evans with the stop.
Yeah, they just haven't gotten the ball enough to Pharaoh Cooper. And here to Kyler Murray, the first touchdown in the first half since October 3rd against Mississippi State. They've had a long drought in the first quarter, or in the first half of games.
Here's Cooper lined up in the backfield, his first carry, and he gets wrestled out of bounds, maybe picked up one. Justin Evans was there. It's almost a dead giveaway. If you see Pharaoh Cooper in the backfield, they're going to have a counter off here.
Yeah, they want to get him the football. They felt like the last couple of weeks he hadn't touched it enough. Now, 7 catches, 160 yards in their last ball game. Some would think that's enough, but they want to get him involved, not only catching the ball, but running it. And he's a former high school quarterback. They can put him back there and he'll throw passes. He's thrown for touchdowns as well while at Carolina.
Perry Orth setting up the screen. He finds David Williams, and he's got some room to maneuver. Williams picks up a first down, a gain of 19 into Aggie territory.
Well, that's an excellent play call. When you get an aggressive defense with 2 defensive ends that can get up the field in Garrett and Hall, a couple of ways to beat them: the draw play and a screen.
Back to Williams, sophomore from Philadelphia, gain of 1. Alonzo Williams with the stop for Texas A&M.
This is a nice answer drive by South Carolina to go right down the field and keep a hot offense on the sideline. And then you're able, at the end of this, you want to put big points on the board. They'll be able to get some points here to answer Texas A&M's drive.
And Shawn Elliott took over as the head coach. He handed play calling duties to G.A. Mangus full time. Mangus had been working as a play caller earlier. They pick up Garrett. Strong throw, leaping grab. Great hands by DJ Neal. Gain of 15.
How about the pickup block by David Williams? Watch the end of this, and going up making a nice play at the end of this. Number 3, DJ Neal, the true freshman, but it was the block of David Williams that gave Perry Orth time to complete that pass.
Yeah, everybody's going to have to help on guys like Myles Garrett and Deshaun Hall today. Little look for David Williams, and he takes it inside the 10. Knocked down by Donovan Wilson, a gain of 13. Texas A&M has been pitiful against the run this season. 101st in the nation. They allowed 200 yards a game on the ground. 10th play of the drive. Williams again. And he gets spun around, a gain of 2. Zakoven Henderson with the stop.
Yeah, Henderson inside provides excellent depth for A&M. When Alonzo Williams, he's banged up a little bit at this point in the season, or Obioha, he comes out. They go with Henderson. They got a true freshman, Dalen Mack, a 5-star player out of high school that's pretty salty himself.
They've got Lorenzo Nunez, the quarterback, split out to the bottom of the screen, right outside the 10-yard line. They go, and Nunez to throw if he wants. He's got blockers. Red zone issues solved for South Carolina. 7-yard touchdown run on the reverse to Nunez.
I tell you what, they bring him around and give him the run-pass option. He's a tremendous runner. Spread option quarterback in high school. And the smart thing is not to force the football into coverage. He saw a running lane and decided to keep it.
An 11-play, 75-yard scoring drive, and we are tied late in the first quarter. The emotion is there. First the game plan. This one won on the grease board when they tried to solve the red zone woes. Shawn Elliott said, yes, South Carolina's in Aggie land.
What a drive, what an answer to A&M's drive.
No return for Speedy Noyle. Pressure coming from linebackers. Carson runs right by him. Tripped up by the safety, DJ Smith. 16-yard gain.
And South Carolina slanting their way out of this.
Yeah.
They slant to the left and just leave a big gaping hole to the right of the defense. The offense is left. They did the same thing on first down with a Kyler Murray run, just slanting themselves out of position.
Freshman quarterback Kyler Murray will be looking at a 1st and 25. South Carolina's first trip to Kyle Field. They can't argue with the first quarter. We're still dead even here in Aggie land. Well, that answers that question. We're tied at 7, and we're lucky to be dry today on this Halloween Saturday. A lot of the bad weather that came through Texas missed College Station despite some rumbles and some lightning. Flooding in Austin, tornadoes in Houston this morning, and A&M's offense unmitigated by the soggy turf today. 113 rushing yards in the first quarter. They only had 90 combined in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, all guys, all players that have carried the football. Trey Carson, Kyler Murray, James White, all averaging over 6 yards per carry. Outstanding, running the football, rushing it for Texas A&M.
After that penalty by Ricky Seals-Jones, Texas A&M faces a 1st and 25. James White is the tailback next to Kyler Murray. Murray will take off once again, trying to find the edge. I kind of brought this up a moment ago, Andre, before we went to break. So how do you really game plan to try and save Kyler Murray, save his legs, and save him from taking too many hits?
Well, I think you allow him to be himself, but then, you know, you got Trey Carson back there, James White. I just mentioned it. Both guys averaging over 6 yards a carry. Put a lot of that weight and burden on them to basically alleviate a lot of the pressure. Then you don't get him hurt as well.
Already 8 carries for Murray, and he floats one complete to Christian Kirk. Tackle made by Sky Moore after a gain of 4.
He has tremendous touch. He's not a big guy, which is why I'm kind of surprised that John Hoke, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, is doing a lot of slanting, because you're opening up areas of the field where he can take off and be dynamic. Force him. Now, they list him at 5'11". I don't believe that, but force him to work from the pocket. Don't allow him to get outside. That's when he puts pressure on your defense.
Big down for the Gamecocks here. 3rd and 20. Can they hold up? Murray checks it underneath to Kirk, and it's dropped. And South Carolina, with the benefit of the personal foul penalty, will force a punt from Texas A&M.
Yeah, I like the thought process by the young quarterback, though. You're not going to force it down the field into coverage and maybe come up with a turnover when you're trying to force it. Allow a guy like Christian Kirk to catch it on the move, and maybe he can run for the first down for you.
There's a guy who can run, waiting for this punt, Farrell Cooper. Drew Kaiser with a high one. Cooper watches it take a big hop and across the sideline. Marked out at the 12. 43-yard punt for Kaiser. South Carolina back on offense after this. Play clock at 1. Just got it off. Orth on the design quarterback draw. He's got room. Perry Orth with a first down run. Who can catch him? Watts has the angle and finally shoves him out of bounds.
What a play by Perry Orth. A designed quarterback draw. Little stealing of the playbook from Texas A&M. You've got a quarterback that can run. I'll see you. I've got another one as well. Nice job by Perry Orth to get all that he could get and then get himself out of bounds without taking a big shot.
66-yard sprint for the former 6th-string walk-on.
Yeah, he's praying for a handoff right about now because he's winded.
And some oxygen. Longest run of the year for the Gamecocks. Here's Wilds now. Got a key block on the edge and takes it all the way down to the 5-yard line. That big fella out front. Mason Zandy clearing the way. Pick up a 14.
Oh, nice job by Alan Knott. He pulls around. Watch number 70 get a nice chop down block. That clears the edge for Brandon Wiles to turn up the field. Mason Zandy as well helping out at right tackle. But a nice job there by Alan Knott, the center.
Out of the pistol now. South Carolina beleaguered by the red zone issues all season long. See if they got something else new here inside.
Keep an eye here for Pharaoh Cooper. Want to get the ball to him in the red zone.
Orth looks over the middle. Now to the slant through the hands of DJ Neal.
Well, you don't get many of those, Tom. That'll be one when you're watching the film tomorrow or Monday that you wish you had back. This is just throw a catchable ball. Just nobody between you and the receiver. Just put it right in the middle of the three. Doesn't need to be high. There's not a linebacker, you know, impairing your vision. Just put it there where he can catch it and come down in the back of the end zone.
2nd and goal.
Where's Cooper? Where's 11?
They only have 2 touchdowns in the last 10 red zone opportunities. One today, the other one at Missouri a few weeks ago. Here's the option, and Orth keeps it. 6 yards there. He goes for 72 yards on the ground in this drive, and South Carolina has its first lead.
Boy, perfect play call by G.A. Mangas right here. That's the pressure. 2-man option, 1 man outside the tackle. He's the option man. He skates outside for Wiles. It means the quarterback keeps it. If he takes the quarterback, it's a pitch and a walk-in by Brandon Wiles. Excellent play call by G.A. Mangas, the offensive coordinator.
A 6-play, 88-yard drive. 1 minute and 47 seconds. And South Carolina, heavy underdog coming in today, has some momentum here in the first quarter. They've scored 14 unanswered under the direction of Shawn Elliott. Perry Orth with an option look and a quarterback keeper. His legs and the fire from Shawn Elliott have the Gamecocks in front. Perry Orth has Carolina out front 14-7 over Texas A&M. Let's check in with Laura.
Well, Connor McQueen for A&M, their backup quarterback, is like a secondary coach on the field. And McQueen was told by Spavital before the game his role was going to be even more important in this game. They needed him to be a communication source out there, and he's watching the quarterbacks like a hawk. He continues to communicate with Kyler Murray, telling him what he's seeing out there, trying to keep him calm. And Kyle Allen, guys, has also been crucial for Kyler Murray. He's been talking to him the entire game and really encouraging him every time he comes over to the sideline. Good to see the communication for these A&M quarterbacks.
It's a little bit different than what we saw early in the season when Kyle Allen played and Kyler Murray was just kind of watching over on the sideline. That kick goes out the back of the end zone.
Away from everybody, taking in the action.
Great football player, also a great baseball player. It runs in the family. His dad was an 11th round pick of the Brewers back in the day. His uncle Calvin played for the San Francisco Giants, and he hits a slant to Josh Reynolds here into South Carolina territory. And I'm told by a little birdie that Kyler Murray has found time already this fall to get in the cage and get a few swings in. He's thinking about playing for Rob Childress in the spring for a top 10 Aggie baseball team.
Hard to do if you're trying to nail down the quarterback job and be the guy here on campus for the football team. It's tough to do.
2nd down and 3. Again to the slant. And again a first down. Ricky Seals Jones bounces it to the outside.
Oh, he's so big, and his catch range is off the charts. So if you get him moving in space, so agile as well when he has the ball in his hands. He's dynamic after the catch. What a weapon for Texas A&M.
Back to action, 1st and 10. James White, the sophomore from Pearland, in the backfield.
There's the matchup. Reynolds at the top of the screen. No safety help.
Kirk now in the backfield. They swing it out to him. The freshman looking for a block. Trying to outrun everybody. And he picks up 9. Isaiah Johnson shoved him out of bounds. It might be 10 and a first down. It is.
Let's say very close to the first down marker, and they indeed give it to him. But you had what you wanted at the top with Reynolds. One-on-one. They go to Kirk to just a catch and run.
Maybe some zone read here.
I like the option going to the field.
White gets stuck at the 2-yard line. No gain. David Johnson with the tackle.
Anytime you can put pressure on the edges with a guy with a playmaker like Kyler Murray, this is almost stealing when it gets down here. Now I like it into the short side. One guy outside the tackle box. There it is.
Murray with an option to throw, looks and gets corralled after a gain of 1. Isaiah Johnson and TJ Gurley in on the stop. It's going to leave 3rd and goal.
Every time he pulls it down, you're just holding your breath because you know something magical can happen. And what I like about him is, he's run the football a lot today, but he takes care of it. Smart, knows when to get down, knows when to engage the defense. Always knows the down and distance and where he needs to get to pick up first downs.
Trey Carson in at tailback. Fullback is Caden Smith. Carson straight ahead, plunges in.
Well, let's not mess around with it anymore. Let's get the big fella going downhill behind Mike Matthews and Joseph Cheek, the right guard. Just a little power football from Texas A&M to take care of business.
7 plays, 67 yards. Couple of big receptions. Ricky Seals-Jones with the biggest. And the extra point is good. We are tied with 6:17 remaining in the first half in College Station. Kyler Murray, simple. Give it to Trey Carson. Feed the big fella. His 5th touchdown. All right, fellas, thanks. We're tied at 14. And now that Steve Spurrier's no longer the head ball coach, we can call him Pharaoh Cooper instead of Pharaoh.
Always confused after you talk to Coach Spurrier.
He should know his name well. Rashad Fenton back to return this one. 6:17 remaining. Get the feeling that Texas A&M in the driver's seat here. They got some momentum. That was an impressive drive. Short kick, chance for a return. From the 4, it's Fenton. And he works his way out nearly to the 19. 4 or 5 total possessions have started deep in a hole. Well, they turn to Shawn Carson for the first time. And Carson able to pick up positive yardage, a gain of 8. 5th-year senior from Scranton, South Carolina.
Yeah, he's really had to fight through a lot of injuries, Tom, since his sophomore year. Then he finally stayed healthy, turned his attention. He was a pretty solid baseball player himself and played for South Carolina on their baseball team and decided last spring to just concentrate on football.
Orth keeps it. He's been the wild card today, and he scrambles his way for a first down and a pickup at 12.
That's a salty fake, as I went with Carson. Watch the fake here. He sold me. I was down inside with Deshaun Hall along with it with Carson, thinking it was a stop for no yards, and then all of a sudden Perry Orth has picked up the first down.
He has 77 of their 140 rushing yards today on only 5 carries.
And now they have some breathing room. The entire playbook opens up to G.A. Mangus.
Orth has it batted away by Deshaun Hall. Hall 6'6", and that one seemed to hit him right in the numbers.
I wanted to throw the hitch to DJ Neal, working against number 21 Brandon Williams, who I'm surprised a lot of teams don't challenge him more than they do. They just moved him to corner from running back this fall.
Major sport management. He managed that batted pass. Williams is matched up now with Trey Guger, bottom of the formation. Play clock trickling down again against Orth and company. It's at 1. They get it off. Inside handoff for David Williams. And that's going to leave 3rd and 10. Sean Washington with the tackle for Texas A&M. And this is the danger zone for South Carolina now. 3rd and 10.
Yeah.
5 minutes to go and a half. A&M gets it back. We've seen them run with tempo. We've seen what they can do.
Especially when you have Garrett and Hall on the outside. You can bring pressure with Watts and Evans, one of the safeties. I mean, this is where you know you've messed around on 1st and 2nd down. Now it's the defense's advantage when it's 3rd and 10.
21 sacks this season for John Chavis's A&M defense. They bring an extra man. Orth over the middle. Got it! 1st down and plenty of room for South Carolina. Wow, another big answer. Hayden Hurst, the little-used wide receiver, takes it all the way for a gain of 47.
Well, watch him cross right here, right in the middle of the screen. They lose track of him, and he's able to catch it on the run. That's huge. A big throw from Perry Orth. I tell you what, every time South Carolina has had to answer A&M, they have stepped up to the plate. A lot of baseball references in this game, and answer.
They go to the screen. That's sniffed out. Whoa, he got free. Brandon Wilds broke through. A.J. Hilliard had him for a moment, couldn't bring him down. It turns into a gain of 7 instead of a no gain.
Tell you what, you play to the whistle. Brandon Wilds didn't hear the whistle. Texas A&M thought they'd stopped his momentum. Right in here, they don't bring him down. He's a big guy now at 6'2", 220. Hard, and he's not easy to tackle. Where's Cooper?
Bottom of the screen. Matched up with Brandon Williams, the corner you were just talking about, a former running back.
Yeah, but they've got Justin Evans over the top right here to help out on Cooper.
Quarterback draw. Orth trying to navigate. Lost the football. He got popped hard at the 3. South Carolina says they got on top of it.
Yeah, Wiles says that one of the Carolina players has it, but of course he's going to say that.
It would be a 1st down run, I believe. And they're going to say 3rd down now.
I think it bounced right back into the hands of Perry Orth. He took a shot. This is when you get all you can get and get down.
I think it landed right in his breadbasket after he was on the backside.
Yeah, I think it's A.J. Hilliard who teed off on Perry Orth. It goes right back to him, and just you can breathe right now if you're a South Carolina fan.
A 67-yard catch and run by Hayden Hurst setting up South Carolina. This is 1st and goal. That was only the 2nd catch of the season for the former Pittsburgh Pirates farmhand.
Big Adams in there. Maybe run the football here with Wiles.
With the pitch, and Wilds will walk in. South Carolina able to answer. 3-yard touchdown run.
Big Rivers Bendenbaugh, the fullback, he told us they were going to run some 2-back stuff in this ball game to get physical. That's what Shawn Elliott has preached for about 2 solid weeks now, how physical they want to be. And you add tight ends as well as fullbacks. And Bendenbaugh is a pure blocking fullback. They go one way and it's easy.
I know how physical they've been. They tackled this week during Tuesday practice. They hadn't done that in a long time under Steve Spurrier. They said, let's get physical.
Show it to the fullback, kick it back to Brandon Wiles, and just one false step. Remember, I told you, he's got some quicks. You take one false step down inside, they get Hall and the rest of the defenders. He outflanks them with that speed, and to Shawn Elliott's liking. Oh, yeah.
Kirk doesn't have a return yet today. He's been bothered by injury. He didn't practice all week. They finally got him out on the field yesterday.
I think maybe he's hit the freshman wall, so to speak, and Kevin Sumlin says, yeah, he's played about a full season in terms of yardage as a freshman.
Speedy Noyle watches it go over his head. So Murray able to get it to the edge to Trey Carson. He's able to pick up 7, I believe.
Yeah, he's a guy that didn't see practice until Thursday as well. A little bruised, beaten up. They wanted to get his body fresh for today and decided to keep him out a little bit.
Murray keeps it. And able to duck across the black logo here at midfield. Scott Moore in on the tackle.
So quick. He can change gears, give it and take it away. Do not even lay a hand on it.
Talking with Jake Spavital yesterday, Kyler Murray loves tempo. That's what he's comfortable doing, and they've simplified the game plan. So we'll give 50 different looks, all for the same consistent plays. Here's Carson again, and Carson trying to find the sideline, gets shoved out of bounds after a first down catch and run. Pickup of 11. Al Harris Jr. with the stop.
Yeah, T.J. Gurley goes inside thinking that's where Carson was going to be, but he basically blocks himself, and that just left a nice alley for Carson to pick up the first down.
Big Kelsey Griffin has checked into the defensive line for South Carolina. He's a space eater. White wrestled down by Isaiah Johnson after a gain of 4.
You just can't guess when playing against White as well as Carson or any of these A&M receivers. They're so talented after the catch that you have to make sure you're in good position to make an open field tackle.
Kirk motions out. Murray looks to him. Now back to the left side, down the sideline. And that one was incomplete. Speedy Noyle was about 2 steps out of bounds.
Yeah, that's the next, I think the next progression in his development is to start to hit those down the field. And if you look at it, it's one side of the field and let it go. Kind of like how they coached Johnny Manziel in his early years, not allowing him, or really not asking him to go through an entire progression. Pick a side of the field and work that one side. If it's not there, pull it down and make a play with your legs for us.
A&M 4 of 7 on third downs today. On 3rd and 6, quarterback draw. Murray's got the first down. Good vision. He's still free down the sideline before stepping out, and a sprint of 28 yards for Kyler Murray.
I just don't understand. You know you have a dangerous quarterback. You're going to run a 4-man front. I mean, they have more blockers than you can defend against. And so you're asking Kyler Murray to run the quarterback draw in that instance.
Option, Murray with the pitch. White takes it in. Did you figure this game for a shootout?
No. Not at all.
2-yard touchdown run for James White. His first touchdown of the season.
Little page out of the South Carolina playbook. You give me one guy outside that tackle box. Well, you got a player that can, a quarterback that can run the option as well.
9 plays, 73-yard drive. South Carolina has set a season high for points and a half with 21. And Texas A&M has matched them. We've got a tied one. We'll hear from Laura Rutledge with Kevin Sumlin coming up on the SEC Network Halftime Report. Our score at Kyle Field, South Carolina 21, A&M 21. Now to Matt Schick in the studio.
Thanks, Coach. You wanted a spark offensively. What are your impressions of Kyler Murray so far?
Well, we've moved the ball. You know, we got, I don't know, almost 400 yards. We only got 21 points. You know, and we're seeing some things different. They've changed a little bit offensively, sprung some new stuff on it. That's what a bye week does for a team. So we got to get in here, get settled down defensively, get some stops, and continue to roll on offense. You
told us you didn't want Kyler to run too much. What are your thoughts on the way that he's handled the ground game so far?
He's done well. You know, he's slid. You know, he's a baseball player, so we don't have to practice much with him sliding. He's been real, I think, smart with how he's scrambled, and we've had some design runs, but I've been happy with the way he's taken care of the ball.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We're locked at 21 between the Gamecocks and Aggies in an offensive explosion. A bit unexpected. A&M ran 48 plays in the first half. They end up with 383 yards, but 21 points to show for it. Their quarterback, Kyler Murray, with 116 yards on the ground. It's the most by an SEC quarterback in the first half since Nick Marshall went for $164 against Tennessee 2 years ago. The key for South Carolina, the red zone. They've scored a touchdown in all 3 trips inside the red zone. That was an area of concern for them all season.
Yeah, I just thought it was important with a minute left in that first half to go down and continue to put pressure on Texas A&M.
No return here. South Carolina will open the second half with the ball moments ago. Laura Rutledge caught up with Shawn Elliott.
Coach, 3 touchdowns in the first half. How have you seen some of those new wrinkles you put in make a difference?
Well, you know, most points were scored in the first half this year, so, you know, it's looking pretty good. Our guys are executing on offensively and having fun out there. You know, they're just going out there doing what they're told to do.
What have you seen from your defense and how they've handled Kyler Murray?
You know, I think they've handled him at times, but, you know, they go to an empty set and we're giving up the draw right there, a big run. And it's really foolish because we're leaving a 5-man box. We've got to do something inside to stop that. That's, you know, that's just silly.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, that about sums it up. It was a little bit silly. Kyler Murray running all over him.
And you're asking for it. When you go 4-1 front, that's a perfect set to run the quarterback draw.
And now some yardage out of the run game and Brandon Wilds. South Carolina happy to bleed that clock. Keep the ball out of A&M's hands. Once again, a snap with single digits on the play clock. Brandon Wilds again, straight up the middle. First down, South Carolina. Wilds rumbles for 7 before Armani Watts brings him down. Watts last week had 20 tackles against Ole Miss, 16 solo stops. It was the first 20 tackle performance since Dat Wynn, the legend, put up 20 against UCLA in the '98 Cotton Bowl.
We talked to John Chavis about that. Talk about, you know, how about the game that Armani Watts had? You know, when he had 20 tackles, he said, well, that just shows me he's making too many tackles on the 3rd level.
Yeah.
You know, we're not doing our job on the 1st and 2nd level of the defense that he has to make that many tackles.
In comparison, middle linebacker A.J. Hilliard only had 2 tackles against Ole Miss. 2nd down and 6. Wilds, nice cutback through an arm tackle, through a 2nd arm tackle. Armani Watts finally brings him down. It's a gain of 6.
The crowd's trying to get into this game to help this defensive unit, but he's so good. The cutback, when he's healthy, he's as good as there is in the SEC. I mean, he's not on Fournette's level, but he is a solid back when he's healthy.
Who is on Leonard Fournette's level?
Nobody.
Wilds 5 carries this drive. Farrell Cooper trying to juke. There's too many black jerseys there. No gain.
You think they're on alert for Farrell Cooper? About 6 jerseys around him when he got the football. And now it's time to go back to that same set and release a receiver. Donovan Wilson, the first guy to show up. And a bunch of other ones. Devontae Harris making a nice play in there to help out.
9th play of the drive.
Maybe a corner route from this inside slot here.
Wilds will set up 3rd down. Shawn Washington in on the stop.
This is when they pretty much all throughout this ball game get it to 3rd and medium, and then it's Perry Orth putting pressure on the outside of the defense, a run pass option. He's been just about perfect on 3rd down. 3 or 4, 68 yards.
And 66 yards running on 3rd down.
Just putting some pressure on the defense here, getting him outside the pocket.
It is loud. DJ Neal, the wide receiver, right of the formation, tried to holler at Orth. Not sure he heard him. Looking towards Neal. Pressured and dropped. Deshaun Hall on a dead sprint, and it's a 12-yard loss.
It looked like they were trying to set up a screen to Brandon Wilds, and he got lost. He had receivers already blocking down the field. So this is a set design screen. He's trying to chip his way out. In the end, or maybe the tackle to that side couldn't catch a number, just basically grabs it, and that didn't allow him to get himself out into the route.
So a 10-play drive will stall in Aggie territory. Speedy Noel back to receive this punt, stands inside his 10. Checks up a little too much. 23-yard punt. A&M will have it at the 19. Deshaun Hall with his 6th attack of the season. Day taking down Perry Orth. South Carolina and A&M tied at 21. Kyle Allen hasn't seen a snap today. We don't expect him to. He's the third string quarterback. Coaches all year have been telling us after you play Alabama, you're a different kind of team. Kyle Allen can attest to that. This was in the second quarter in Tuscaloosa, here at home against Alabama. Took a hard hit there. Same drive, threw his second interception. 3 picks with 3 pick sixes. And then Reggie Ragland took him down, fell on the right shoulder, and he hasn't been the same since. This was another one of his picks. And a guy who had the best quarterback rating in the SEC through the first 5 games has been a different quarterback since. He lost his starting job this week. He tells his coaches he's 100% healthy. The stats would say otherwise. 13 touchdowns to 2 picks in the first 5 games. 1 touchdown to 4 big picks over the last 2. His quarterback rating off the cliff.
Yeah, of course he'll tell the coaches he's hurt. He doesn't want to come out.
He's healthy, you mean?
And healthy, and give Kyler Murray an opportunity to take his job. But I don't need a bunch of people to tell me he's not healthy. He's too good of a quarterback to. We'll get right back into this after this play.
It's Josh Reynolds for a first down.
So you can see it. You saw it against Alabama, the shoulder. You saw it against Ole Miss. He just does not look the same. And the stamp for me is that you don't go from first string to third string if something isn't wrong.
He misfired on his first pass against Ole Miss, missed a wide open receiver by about 5 yards in what was a simple pass with no pressure. So judge for yourself, as we say. And on 1st and 10, Kyler Murray, the freshman, now with an option run, keeps it. Let's check in with Laura.
Jake Spavital said it's tough to see anybody go through something like this, but especially a 19-year-old kid and what Kyle Allen is dealing with. But he said he's been so professional throughout. And today in warm-ups, Spavital didn't even have to tell him to go and work with the third-team guys. He went right over there, went about his business. I've seen him today on the sideline, really active and communicating with everybody.
He was the MVP of the Liberty Bowl last year. Here's James White. He takes it straight ahead to erase the penalty. Picks up a first down after a rip of 15.
And he's been so solid before the Alabama game that, you're trying to gut it out against Ole Miss, and it just wasn't there last week.
The side story to that is instead of going to Kyler Murray, they went to Jake Hubenak late in that game to replace Kyle Allen. The coaching staff said we had an issue during the Alabama game. We went into Ole Miss knowing full well that Kyler Murray wasn't going to play. They stopped short of calling it a suspension at the time, but he wasn't going to see the field. He did take reps that week, but none with the first team. That was all Hubenak and Allen. He goes to the slant here to Ricky Seals-Jones, and that brings up a bit of conundrum for Kevin Sumlin and Texas A&M. They have these personality profiles and aptitude tests they put their players through. Kyler Murray tests out as a guy who has to learn by doing. He has to see defenses in front of him and get reps. He barely got any. In fact, he didn't get any first-team reps the week of the Ole Miss game, and he got some this week. Here's Murray. Wow, nothing but green grass. Little stutter step. Oh, he almost cut through in front of Lamons. It's a 21-yard run.
Well, you see why I describe him as a more dynamic runner than even Johnny Manziel. I think he's faster for sure, for one. And then he's even more elusive. When he decides to commit to it, boy, he hits it in a hurry.
Murray to Kirk. Stopped just short. South Carolina denies Christian Kirk the end zone. T.J. Gurley, the nickelback, with the coverage, are going to leave the offense on the field for now.
Yeah, they run Noyle inside to clear out coverage. And the ball doesn't cross, but this is a good decision by Kevin Sumlin to go for it here. I thought he would do it before, and when Bertolet missed the field goal, here he's making up for it.
Yeah, 3 of 9 on 4th down this season. 4th and goal to take the lead. Murray's got it. He's in. Touchdown Aggies. A&M back in front.
Perfect execution. A nice block by Caden Smith. But everybody went with the big back and Trey Carson, and Murray read it perfectly. Watch everybody collapse on Carson, and then Murray's going to walk in untouched. Well executed.
16 for 145 and a touchdown. First rushing touchdown of Kyler Murray's career as an Aggie. Bertolet punches it through. They decided to go for it on 4th and goal. Kyler Murray holds the ball back, pushes it over the goal line, and Aggies in front. This is the first trip ever for South Carolina to College Station. It's their first trip to the state of Texas since 1976 when they lost in Waco to Baylor. Down by a touchdown here. And South Carolina fans, if you haven't made the trip, this is one you got to come on. Now permanent rivals in the SEC, and the traditions here at A&M unlike anywhere else. It is the home of the 12th man. You know about the number 12 on the kickoff coverage teams. It goes deeper than that. It's all the students that stand ready essentially to come in the game the entire game. DX Bible got that tradition going, and this season, the last 3 years, it's been Sam Miller wearing number 12. Here's Rashad Fenton from the 1. Miller trying to get in on the tackle. Flag comes out, and Fenton knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
It's going to be a block in the back. This one's coming back.
Let's check in with Laura.
Well, Murray came back on laughing about this, but he's got a new pair of pants, and as soon as the rip happened, he went right to the trainers, and they made sure they would get him all fixed up.
Not just a quick runner, quick change artist. That was some Superman-like speed.
Concert type stuff.
Yeah, that was like Tay-Tay.
Changing.
Brandon Wiles left side. Oh, he's got room, and he's got an answer. Brandon Wiles down the sideline. Don't forget about the Gamecocks yet. Justin Evans forces him out of bounds after a 42-yard run.
Yeah, the way they describe him, upright runner who's tough, and he's got breakaway speed. And if you don't get a hand on him, he can break a game wide open. When he's healthy, he's a solid player. That gives the field position right back to South Carolina.
Officially 43 yards. A running handicap in between breaks. We're thinking South Carolina has to answer here. I'm wondering if they could. It's a big step closer. Wilds again gets turned around by Deshaun Hall, and plenty of help on the inside. A.J. Hilliard there, and Wilds holding his left leg. Yeah, Brandon Wilds still on the turf.
They try to go back behind Brandon Shell, who threw a nice block the play before, and this has been his problem his entire career at South Carolina. Yeah, they hand him some water or Gatorade right away, so I'm going to bet it's cramps.
David Williams takes over at tailback. Orth rolls right, comes back left to Farrell Cooper. Needs a block, and they brought him down by his hip. Myles Garrett out there to make the stop. It's a gain of 5, and that will leave 3rd and 5.
Well, how about Myles Garrett redirecting himself? He's a defensive end that gets all the way out to the sideline to help make a play. One of the strongest guys, strongest players on this entire team. He's a pretty good basketball player in high school as well.
Play clock into single digits again. Intercepted! Texas A&M's Donovan Wilson. Free sailing. Touchdown, Aggies.
Really stared it down. Watch the eyes. Catch, he's trying to go to Cooper, and Donovan Wilson steps right in front of it. Big time playmaker, making a big time play in this game.
4th pick of the season for Wilson, the sophomore from Shreveport, Louisiana. Bertolet punches it through. John Chavis said we need to get tougher. Last year only 5 picks as an entire team. Wilson's got 4 of his own this season. 13th straight game with a takeaway for A&M, and the Aggies in control. Texas A&M is taking control with a pick 6. It's 35-21 Aggies.
An interception last week. And then again, a pick 6 today against Perry Orton in South Carolina.
Already more takeaways this season in game number 8 than they had all of last year.
What a pretty good defensive coordinator.
Yeah. 21 years John Chavis was at Tennessee. 6 he was at LSU. He has made his bones in the SEC, former Tennessee player and part of that 1998 BCS National Championship. But they loaded Tennessee defense that year. Last year they allowed 451 yards a game. That was worse in the SEC. That was part of their 0 for October when they got torched. And then this season, what a difference. Season high 3 interceptions against Ole Miss. And this is a place that's, you could still say, traditionally known for their defense.
Yeah.
Remember the Wrecking Crew in 91 under Bob Davie? Man, they were fantastic, but they haven't been able to return to that. Reverse action, Pharaoh Cooper. First down for Cooper past the 40. Since then, in fact, really since 2002, Texas A&M's defense has been nationally ranked 96th or worse 6 times. They haven't been higher than 46th in total defense in that span.
The last 2 seasons, and you see the effect that John Chavis is starting to have here at Texas A&M.
Dalen Mack back in the game. Impact player. Loss of 5.
I mean, you talk about one heck of a foundation. True freshman and Dalen Mack, Myles Garrett, Deshaun Hall, 3 very young players that can take over a game at any point. The 2 edge rushers and then a grown man in the middle in Dalen Mack. What a foundation they're building here at A&M.
On 2nd and 15, swing pass to David Williams. Lost a man. And he gets ridden out of bounds by Josh Walker. 21-yard gain.
Pretty good block out in space by DJ Neal to free him up. They invite the rush. And Jared Johnson comes up the field, leaves the outside vacated. It's a nice block, as I mentioned, from DJ Neal. And a South Carolina first down. How do you get back in this game? Pharaoh Cooper and the running game. They already found a way to get it to Cooper, and Williams now in the ball game.
2-back set with Wilds and Williams. Wilds has it. They haven't had much luck in between the tackles against Texas A&M today. Zakoven Henderson, the 297-pound sophomore, with a stop.
Yeah, I think he's better coming downhill. They're trying to run him laterally. That's not his. That's not what he does best, trying to get to the edge and then cut it up. And let him come right downhill into the face of this Texas A&M defense.
92 yards and a touchdown today for Brandon Wilds. A little bit behind Wilds. Takes it off his hip, tries to turn it up. Shed a few. Let's check in with Laura.
South Carolina athletic trainers have been working on Brandon Wilds' left ankle. They put a compression sleeve on it and then retaped it. He was able to run around on the sideline. Obviously, he's back out there right now, but something to keep an eye on.
All right, Laura, thanks.
He has a history of ankle problems. He's out for the entire year because of that.
On 3rd and 2.
Nice.
He picks up the first down.
That's how I like to see him utilized. Just right downhill. Let's get right into the teeth of the defense and let him find and pick a soft spot once he gets in there. You run him laterally, that's not what he's best at.
Another fake reverse this time, and Wilds kept it. He's got room. Wilds cuts it back outside. And South Carolina on Halloween with a trick and treat, a 33-yard touchdown run for Wilds as they fake the reverse.
You fake it, it gets everybody flowing. Watch the flow of the defense once the fake happens. And then what a job he does on Watts. Armani Watts misses a tackle. And then the speed and athletic ability of Brandon Wilds gets South Carolina right back in this game.
Eight-play, 75-yard scoring drive. Money wasn't an issue when Elliott started as an assistant for Jerry Moore at Appalachian State. $7,000 was his salary. He lived in a broom closet on campus at the Broomkirk Gym. It was free space. Kyler Murray with a heck of a debut as a starting quarterback. Hands it off to Trey Carson. Sky Moore back in the game with the stop for South Carolina.
Yeah, he's taking care of the football. Kevin Sumlin talked about that before the half. 45 yards. What a day.
On South Carolina's first visit to College Station, Shawn Elliott's got the troops fired up. It is now. It is the fourth quarter. They trail by a touchdown. We've had a barn burner thus far. Can the fourth quarter keep pace with the first three? Texas A&M with a touchdown lead on South Carolina. There's sawing varsity's horns here in Aggie land. Those stands are known to sway when that happens. Touchdown lead for the hometown Aggies, trying to hold off a pesky South Carolina team. Maybe a gain of one. That will leave third and short as James White gets the carry. And then the next step, they're going to credit him with a first down on the spot. The next step of the evolution then is comes at you from both ways. Both Kyler Murray getting better as a player and Jake Spavital adding more to the playbook.
Yeah, that's what comes with it. The ability, you know, to not have to look over to the sideline all the time during the game. That'll allow you to go faster. And once you get comfortable doing that, look out. Where it's what I feel, what I can get to. Here are two plays. Go to the line of scrimmage and choose one.
Murray will keep it. And he's safe at second with another 8-yard run.
I like that. Protect yourself. Don't take a shot unnecessarily. Get down, protect yourself. Come on back and fight the next play. Boy, he's just so quick. Woo. Trying to work some of this clock and not allow South Carolina maybe another possession in this ball game.
First down catch by Speedy Noyle. Noyle only 3 catches the last 4 games. He's been bothered by injuries. Finally back to 100%.
One of the few times they have a free rusher in the face of Kyler Murray, stood right there and delivered it to Speedy Noyle. Cool, calm, and composed.
538 yards of offense. They came in 95th in the country in rushing. 315 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
And add maybe 5 more to it.
2 high safeties, 4-1 front. And just inviting you to run the football, whether it's quarterback draw or straight ahead handoff. It's simple. I mean, at this point, you just turn it over to the offensive line. And this is how South Carolina is going to choose to play defense. They're going to have a hard time going forward to stop opponents from running the football. You got to get some help in there. Some A-gap blitzers at times. Some guys coming off the edge. But to just sit in there with 4 men up front and a couple of linebackers, it's easy to block it up. What a dynamic player Kyler Murray is and will be going forward for Texas A&M.
20 of 28 through the air, 20 carries for 156 yards and a touchdown on the ground. 0 turnovers. And now they face a key 3rd and 7. South Carolina 2 timeouts remaining. If they want an opportunity, they need to stop here. Option. Late pitch to Carson. Carson gets swallowed up. Maybe got a yard. Sky Moore with 13 tackles today, able to bring him down. They lose 2 yards.
And they're going to earn it with this punter Kaiser, as good as he is. Nice job here by Sky Moore, as well as Marquavius Lewis, the defensive end, forcing Kyler Murray to pitch it. And then they've got support help and leverage from outside in.
As good as Kaiser is, he's been inconsistent. Farrell Cooper stands at the 10. He had a 15-yarder earlier this half. He also had a 71-yarder.
If there's anybody that can break this thing open, number 11 on the back end can do it.
Great kick. Cooper won't have a chance for a return. A&M can't get to it. So with 1:28 remaining, South Carolina trails by a touchdown.
The clock's going to stop with first downs, and if you're going to get back in this game, you're going to put together a couple of first downs.
4-man rush. Oh, it gets dropped. Loss of 4.
Number 1 rule, Tom, in the 2-minute drill is what? Don't take a sack. If you're the quarterback trying to put something together to win the game, you can't take a sack. And they do decide to spend a timeout. Obvious passing situations. You're going to have Garrett as well as Deshaun Hall coming, ears pinned back, coming after Perry Orth.
Pressure coming. Ball's loose. Scooped up by David Williams to save the day for a moment. Clock rolling at 1:11. South Carolina doesn't take a timeout here. It was Garrett who forced it out.
Advantage A&M when it's obvious passing situations with these 2 defensive ends.
Orth over the middle. Couldn't find Adams in front of his tight end. 4th and 14 next.
Boy, it is loud. Always has been a loud place to play.
Pressure coming from the safety. Orth over the middle. Intercepted again. Donovan Wilson again. His 2nd pick of the day.
Such high praise from John Chavis yesterday. Talked about Donovan Wilson and how much he means to this defense. 2nd INT of the day. He just seems to make plays each and every game all over the field, and he will tattoo you when he gets an opportunity to. But watching the quarterback's eyes, forcing it into coverage, Wilson just sitting in coverage waiting.
Kyler Murray didn't lose a game as a starting quarterback in high school. He starts his A&M career in the same fashion.
It was fun to watch today. Took care of the football, which has been a problem for this A&M offense the last couple of games. Took care of his body, got himself down when he needed to, didn't take any big shots today, and I thought he managed the game very, very well in his first start. Did not look like a true freshman.
A&M snaps a two-game losing streak. Apparently the sky is not falling. And the Aggies, with a hug between quarterbacks, with the kind of quarterback performance they were looking for, Kevin Sumlin's team goes to 6-2. South Carolina falls to 3-5. Kyler Murray, the freshman from Allen, Texas, helps A&M to a season high 544 yards of offense. They ran for 321. Let's go down to the field. Laura Rutledge just standing by with Kevin Sumlin amongst the cannon fire.
Crazy cannon fire, coach, but Kyler Murray got it done with his arm and his legs, and maybe more importantly, took care of the football. What was the key to his success today?
Well, he was relaxed. You know, the plan was good with him. I thought he ran smart, like we talked about at halftime. Slid, got on the ground, created, extended plays with his legs, and made plays when they were there. So didn't really force anything, and that's the big thing with a young guy. You just kind of let the game come to him, and hopefully we can still increase the offense. He's got a good feel for it, and hopefully we'll get better next week.
You mentioned his feel for the offense. After what you saw today, how would you describe your quarterback situation?
Well, I don't know. I think he played well. So, he was a starter. We practiced well all week. Like I said, it's all about getting better every week as a team. And, there's more than one guy that plays in this game. We got to get better as a team. Got another SEC opponent next week, and hopefully we can get a little bit better next week and get another W.
2 picks for Donovan Wilson. How important is he to this defense?
Yeah, all he does is make plays. He's just a guy that around the ball all the time, and just a heck of an effort from him. Those three safeties have been playing like crazy. He's a nickel. He's everywhere, and again, he came up big.
You mentioned Auburn next week. You snapped the 2-game losing streak, and this one was tightly contested throughout. How does a tight game like this prepare you for what you'll see?
Well, you don't like them like that. First of all, we got some things to shore up defensively. We got one part fixed a little bit this week, so it's like putting a finger in the dam. We got we can play better. We got to play better. They had a bye week, showed us some new stuff. We just got to shut down and play better defense, keep our offense coming along, and be ready to try to get another win next week.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Well, the similarities between last season and this season continue. The mid-season lull perhaps lost after the debut by Kyler Murray, and hope abounds in Aggieland. Once again, our final score: Texas A&M holds on for a 35-28 victory over South Carolina. Coming up next is SEC Now, and the quarterback of right now, Kyler Murray, helping the Aggies to a touchdown win. Now Matt Schick in the studio.